Welcome. Today I want to talk to you about the risographic version of Tales from the Smoking Wyrm, issue 9. So the risographic version has a wonderful Sean Langley wraparound cover that carries on behind the menu with our table of contents. And if you're interested in seeing what exists behind here, if you look on the back, we've gone ahead and reflectively printed that. So you can actually see Krampus and the snail and things like this. They're on the back. So it continues that. So you get that good look at Langley's artwork, which is just phenomenal. Here showing a Yeti and a Marie-Louise. We have, this is a kind of seasonal themed issue for the first time. And so we've got a great piece of art by Joel Phillips with the host and Krampus himself. And of course, all of our normal title page things, including our anathema, which has been translated into German this year instead of, or for this issue, instead of Latin like normal. All of the artwork in this issue is, of course, new and done specific for us. But here is, I think it's Julia Martin, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Julia Martin's take on a kind of holiday-themed 1890s postcard piece for the introduction of Krampus as a patron, including some great quotes. And then we go in and get into Krampus proper. We give an overview of Krampus, and then we actually provide a full 14 rumors that you can roll on to introduce Krampus slowly into your game and things like this. Or if you're using Krampus or a Krampus adherent as an adversary, these would be great for that too. And this will be standard, I think, in patrons going forward as we develop that. We have your Invoke patron results, which are all very Krampus themed. And notably, something to think about is they're also tied to the season. And so the die roll changes based on what season you're in. So Krampus has a very hard time, or their adherents have a hard time pulling forth the power of Krampus in the middle of summer, but they have a decidedly easier time doing that in winter. Patron Taint, very Krampus themed, and there's a note here, if you gain Patron Taint more than 8 times, you begin the process of transforming into a Get of Krampus, which is, we kind of envision it as a new class, but we haven't fully written it yet. So it's left up to you as to what that means. We finish up that and we go through Spellburn. We have 5 really nice Spellburns in here for you. And then 3 spells by the Lash, Justice Serve Cold, and Winter's Wrath, laid out nicely on 2-page spreads. These came out great. And again, they follow that seasonal target number. And so the seasons really become important to an adherent of Krampus. Following that up, we have our usual Krampus missions. When we do patrons, we like to give them some examples of gameplay. And so we have these patron missions for Krampus. And there are 7 of these. And the artwork by Jay Tanaka is just absolutely phenomenal. All of it's great. Krampus's Tools for Punishing the Wicked is a short article on the different implements that are traditionally associated with Krampus, from a basket or sack to bell chains, binding lassos, and blessed birch bundles, and then holy schnapps. And so we give those full stats and everything, and usually some occult or magical influences as well. We move into Culpepper's Herbal, which is holiday themed again as well. Holly, ivy, and mistletoe are all covered in detail, so you should enjoy those. I hope you do. And then finally we get into another major article, Yeti and the Migo. And so this article is really kind of near and dear to my heart. It talks about the Yeti, and it provides rules for creating Yeti as adversaries with a Lovecraftian bent. And so Lovecraft was well known for using the term Magao and for his Migo, which is also a term for, wanderer in the waste, or whatever it is, the people, the wild man of Tibetan myth. And so we have merged those two and made these kind of, Migo influenced Yeti that are kind of fungal based and everything, and really kind of play up the association with snow and tricks and disappearances and things like this. And so we go into the Yeti and myth, we go into Migo natural history a little bit, Migo Yeti connection, and then also Yeti culture, giving you a good stat block to start with here for a generic Yeti, and then giving it a whole bunch of unique adaptations and everything, so that every Yeti you encounter is different, as it should be. And then finally, we end up with this wonderful piece by, is this McElroy? I think it's Justin McElroy. Yeah, McElroy. This great Yeti piece. I don't know how he did this interleaved white, red, black, but it's just absolutely phenomenal. And so, yeah, really great article. And then we move on to the Mary Eloued, which is a wassailing tradition using a horse-headed hobby horse, usually a real skull from a horse. And we give you complete rules for the type of what's called a punko, or a rhyme off, essentially, right? A rhyming call out and everything, and tell you how that worked, and also give you some connections to actually more information about the Mary Eloued, and then stat it up in such a way so that you have a couple options. You can engage in a literal rhyming song between judge and players, or you can work off of personality checks and everything. But it is also a great way to revisit your zero-level characters who died during your initial funnel, as they're pulled back from the land of the dead by the Mary Eloued, and brought in as either the ostler, a jester, the lady, or mummers. And so, yeah, this we think really delves into the mythological connections of what the Mary Eloued was doing in Welsh mythology, and hopefully provides a really nice, interesting adversary that's different. Finally, we end up with a piece by Jay Tanaka again. This is just a phenomenal piece. I think you'll agree. And we give you some ideas for variations on this creature. A wonderful onward retainer, two pages of comic, continuing all the way from issue 1. So this is a continuing comic series by Joel Phillips. Always fun, and then a final worm word. This is AP1. This is the advanced proof first one. There were 2 of those, and then there are 200 copies of this produced, and the limitation, the numbering, and everything will be right there on the inside cover, back page. And so that is on Tales from the Smoking Wyrm, issue 9 in the risographic version.